just stepped out of Pride Month. For me, myself, I didn't do too much. However, I did go to a ball that was sponsored by the AIDS Task Force. I had fun. I'm telling you, to be in the presence of the energy is outstanding, especially when they do them drops. I'll be like, oh my God, because my knees, my back, all that shit would be fucked up. I wouldn't even be able to get up. They would have to come get a stretcher and catch me just like that. For yourself, how was Pride Month for you here in Cleveland for 2023?
Well, this is Kevin Ray here, or also known as Montgomery Penfield from Phoenix T. Had a pretty eventful Pride Month. This was the most eventful Pride Month that I've had since coming out. And I was in Atlanta and had to relocate back to Cleveland and got here June 1st.
Oh,
so
wow.
It was Pride weekend when I got back, and I went down to the Pride Fest, which caught up and met some people that I hadn't seen in a while. They were surprised and shocked that I was here because I was supposed to be in Atlanta. But the Pride Festival is so well attended. It's got so much good energy, and it kind of invigorates me every time I can go to Pride, and it just makes me feel good about who I am and raises my spirits because at times, we catch so much flack and we get so much pushback on who we are, especially with the climate that's going on in the country now. So it felt so good being able to go to the Pride Festival.
Well, first off, let me introduce myself. I'm Xavier, but also I'll go by main event Zay for Phoenix T. I agree. It was phenomenal. This would have been my third Pride. And just getting to, catch up with some old friends and stuff. That was fun. Got to make amends with a past relationship.
Was this a past friend relationship or a past friend relationship?
Past dating relationship. Okay. It ended in a complete train wreck, and we didn't speak for a while, and that was a part of why I moved, because I'm like, I don't like what's happening here, and I need to go and leave and refine myself and continue to grow more as a person. And so fast forward from 2020 2021 to now, we had the opportunity to talk and make amends. Now obviously we are in our separate paths and journeys in life now, but it was good enough to get that closure between the both of us.
But let me ask you this question. Do you think from the time that you separated that you grew?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it was a personal journey. Now, I guess my next question is, even though you are on different paths, would you continue to be cordial with one another, or is it just when I see you, I'll speak and keep it moving?
It's a little bit of both. Cordial. If I see you, I'll speak. I won't be rude, type of thing. Reopening that door, it'll never happen. But
okay, that's fair.
But it's a cordial type of thing.
That's fair. That's fair. Phoenix T in the house, hanging with Hayzel. I am Hayzelgreene, an inquisitive, unapologetic, voluptuous introvert who blooms and blossoms behind closed doors. This is my podcast, a platform where I will discuss my writings and where I will bring to light conversations with my good girlfriends, sisters, brothers, and homeboys about love, life, music, and most importantly, sex. So leave your judgment at the door and welcome to Hanging Out with Hayzel.
It's Hayzel, baby!
This is my thing, the journey. And you know what? I do have to say, I don't know the political term or how do you say it. I know once upon a time you will say, oh, I have a daughter that's gay. I don't know if that's still factual, or do you say, I have a daughter that's in the lifestyle, or that is lgbtqia?
It's a lot of letters.
Or I would just go with my daughter's gay, because all the letters,
Well,
We're going to go through the whole alphabet. We're going to... do you remember Sesame Street when Big Bird had the song alphabet was stupid kid? That was A to Z. I'm like, that's what we're going to do. We're going to be at A to Z in a minute. And ain't nobody got time. I mean, and not to disrespect the community, but it's so many letters. Like, I'm just gay, or just identify as the letter out of the alphabet. You know, I'm questioning, or I might be, or I'm curious, or I'm gay, or I'm this, But, I mean, I have to go through that just to alliterate it. Is a lot. I'm not, I have to keep. I have to educate myself. I had seen it.
Wait, there's an I. Interesting. See, it's been so many new letters added. I have no idea what the I stand for. Like me, I'm a part of. I'm a B. I'm a part of the bisexual community.
Really?
Yes.
It's funny because a lot of my friends are bi. I'm like one of the few gay people in
your circle.
Yeah, my circle is fully gay.
Have you ever been with a woman?
No, I've had a female friend, but
sexually, you've never been with a woman.
No.
And how old are you?
42.
So you knew from ever, I guess, that you were gay.
Yeah. My thing is, I don't think you're born that way. I think when you hit puberty, you go this way or that way. This is how you develop. Because I wasn't, as a child, I wasn't that way. As a child, I just wanted to play G.I. Joe and eat some chicken nuggets. That's what I wanted. But then when I started to come into my sexual identity, that's when I'm like, okay, this is who I am.
So people will disagree with you, of course. Okay.
Of course.
Okay.
And that's fine.
Well,
that's fine. I know what I experienced, and that's how I developed.
I'll even say it's a bit of the same way. There's probably a little bit more avenues to my situation. I was obviously playing with action figures as a kid growing up. There were little instances where I did throw my grandmother's wig on, and I did put my mom's heels on. So, but even still, at that age, I thought it was just fun. As I got more into myself and gotten older, I figured out, what I like and what interests me.
Well, you know what? To be all honest, just going back to think about my childhood, in kindergarten, okay, preschool, kindergarten, Head Start, wherever we were at, they had kitchen sets there. They had the dresses, the robes, the aprons, the high heel shoes, the purses, and things like that. And it wasn't uncommon for children, male children, to come and play house in that environment, and it was not looked upon to say, oh, he's gay because he's walking in high heels. That was just the play at that time.
Yeah, they're just having fun. We're just having fun.
Yeah, just having fun. I have a friend, actually, she bought her son a kitchen set, and he wanted a doll, so she bought him a doll as a baby doll, not a Barbie doll. This was something and she's a teacher, so she knows that brings out, I don't know to say curiosity, but it is a part of normal play as a child.
The freedom to explore. Now, one day he might grow up be one way, but either if he grow up to be straight, he gonna be one heck of a dad, and he gonna be one heck of a husband. He gonna clean the dishes and take care of the child. So you don't know how
that's prepping.
Yeah,
right. I get it, because like right now he doesn't. I mean, like you said, it depends on when you come into that identity part of your life, but he's never displayed any of that. But again, as a teacher and an educator, she felt as though this is what she wanted to do with her son, because again, like you said, he's gonna know how to wash a dish, he's gonna know how to stock a refrigerator, and he's gonna know how to take care of a child, because he's experienced that as a child. When did you decide that you were bisexual?
Well, I guess you could say it was always dormant. From looking back at a lot of things that I did, from putting on my grandmother's wig to wearing my mom's heel. But at the time, like you said, I thought it was common. It was just, play. But as I got older, me and my little sister, we would hang out. I would watch a lot of the shows that she likes watching, which is, pretty girly-ish and stuff, outside of, the superhero shows that I love to watch. But
I don't think they had anything to do with anything. But go ahead. That's just me personally.
But just watching like shows like Cheetah Girls and stuff like that. Again, I thought it was normal, but really looking back at it, I think it was me. I think it was who I am slowly coming out.
Okay.
And it wasn't until I was about 18, I was in high school, where it was thanks to somebody that I used to date who actually helped me be able to feel comfortable to come out.
Oh, so it was a female you were dating?
Oh, no.
No, it was a male.
that I was dating. But even before we got into a relationship, he made it comfortable for me to come out. Because I was, at that point I knew, but I was kind of, keeping it to myself. But he helped make it comfortable for me to come out. And since then, I haven't looked back.
Okay. Are you the only male child to your parents?
Yes.
So, sir,
Yes.
let's talk about this coming out party.
Well, my story, growing up, I have a twin brother and I have two older brothers, and I grew up in a house, and my parents were together, and I grew up in a house, and my older brother's like, I love women so much. Why would somebody choose to be like that? Women are so,
Is this your twin or your other brother?
Older brothers.
Older brother.
But
Okay.
my twin brother ended up, as we got older, was hanging around my older brothers, and he used to go out in the streets with them and stuff, and I hung back. I used to hang with my dad, or I had a different set of friends. I used to go to church. I was
Okay.
with the church folks, and my twin brother and my older brothers was hanging out in the streets. So my older brother had a friend who was hang behind too, and we would play around with each other, horseplay and stuff like that. And it had come out that he had approached my brother sexually one night, and my brother kind of outed him at school. So then everybody at school, they made fun of him. His family turned his back on him. That pushed me in. That was when I was a teenager. That pushed me in. That's why I didn't want to come out. I didn't want nothing to do with it. And that made me focus on my career and my success. And my mindset was that by the time I do come out, I want to be so successful that that's not going to be a major factor. So that's why I waited so long to come out. I was so afraid, and I didn't want to disappoint my dad and my parents, and it took so long. I didn't come out till I was 34.
So were you secretly dating?
No. Nope. I was just working on myself, like working on my career, working on school. I was focused on that.
But you already knew that was your preference.
Yes.
In your 30s. Wow. So that's
A long time.
So how has that journey been from the point you came out to today?
I had to play catch up. Then I was able to explore being with somebody, having a relationship with someone, being who I am openly. The person that I thought would have, been okay with it was, my father ended up being okay with it. My mom had little stuff to say. One night my mom, she was drunk and said, we didn't want no gay son, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to be here. We don't want you. And that had hurt me. She stuck a dagger in my heart.
I'm sure.
Doing that. And my father, when I came out, he would be messing with me like, hey, it was fun. And I was like, well, dang, my dad, I thought that he would be the one that, would have an issue with it. But yeah. So, both of my parents they're gone now, but, it wasn't that bad as I thought it was going to be. When I came out, they just, they had a gay son, and they grew over time. It took time for them to fully accept it, but you could tell over time that it was just,
What about the twin brother?
Oh, he didn't care. Most of the families, like, we already knew, and I'm like, well, dang, why ain't y'all let me come out sooner? So, y'all should have said something. But yeah, that's like, we knew. And I had a lot of friends, especially male friends who were straight. It's like, well, we knew. And we didn't have a problem. It's like, we have an issue with it that you didn't tell us, instead of you telling us, like, just be yourself.
Even the older brother who outed the friend way back then?
Yeah, he's fine with it now. I mean, and we live in a world where it's more prevalent. Back in the 80s and 90s, it was a different world back then. People were out. They were still, for the most part, people were afraid to come out. Now, in the 2020s, it's just, it's commonplace now. So I'm happier for younger generations. You should feel way more comfortable now to come out than, especially the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s was tough too. But now, We live in a much we have more exposure.
Right, that's true. That's true. And your coming out story?
Well, it started out with my mother as well, and because one day me and a group of friends they had spent the night at my house, and we were just hanging out, and we, revealed who we were to each other as far as like our sexual preferences and what we liked.
What kind of sleepover was that?
Just a
A good one. No.
no, it was like a regular sleepover, like play video games and all that, and then we just all started talking and just had a conversation and was able to come out to each other because a lot of my friends were closeted too.
Oh wow!
So we were able to just talk amongst each other about that. And one day I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna tell my mom about it and just about who I am, and that's what I did. Me and her had a conversation. She asked, and I was honest with her. She seemed fine with it, but come to find out, a lot of her friends ended up finding out because she ended up running her mouth. But no, that's fine because then they approached me with love as well. My mom, when I first told her again, I learned all this after her passing, is that she struggling with it a little bit. She was more so. It was more so of a fact that why didn't I tell her sooner type of thing.
So when you told her, did you tell her you were bi or did you tell her I'm gay?
Bi.
Oh, okay.
And but even though she died, she still loves me regardless. I know that for a fact because that's just the type of person my mom is. She's always installed in me be honest, and maybe I should have told her sooner, but I feel like that was the time and place to tell her.
Yeah, to tell her in your own time. Absolutely.
And the rest of my family, they hit me with the we already knew as well. My great grandmother, knowing the era she comes from, it hurt her.
Okay.
But she came around, still welcomed me with open arms.
You said your great grandmother?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about your grandmother?
Oh, she died in 2002.
Okay, so she wasn't around at this time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, the only person that I haven't had that conversation with, but I'm pretty sure he already knows, is my grandfather.
That's interesting. But yeah, I would think that he knows.
Yeah, because
if everybody else knows, he knows.
Yeah, because I always say this. I'm like, because anytime I would be around him, he would bring up females, and I would respond to him. But that's really about it. But other than that, I think he has a hint, an idea, because he's my granddad. He's been around.
He's tuned in. He's tuned in.
Yeah.
So, what took you to Atlanta?
Well, I didn't have no work up here. I had a car, and it had got hit, and they sent it to a repair shop because I was DoorDash, and that's how I was making a living. They sent it to a repair shop, and it burned up in the repair shop.
Oh,
so
dang.
And they didn't replace it, so I lost my income. So someone down there said, "Just come down here, and I help you get on your feet." So I moved down there, and I had found a job, and things were going okay. But then we got hit by a tornado, and that's when I probably should have came back here because we got hit January 12th. We got hit by 5 tornadoes in Griffin, Georgia, and so my living situation deteriorated from there. And he was trying to adjust and make space for us somewhere else, and I was renting my car from him. And then one day he disappeared with the cars. So I had no way to go to work, and I had got my paycheck. So I was like, well, I'm going to go back to Cleveland because I don't have no way to make a living. I'm going to be stuck. So now I'm back here. I'm doing another reset. It's tough right now, but with my credentials and everything, I'll get back on my feet. I liked Atlanta for what it was when it was working. Now I had to come back to Cleveland. My heart's in Cleveland too, so it's not really a disappointment for me to come back here because I really, really love Cleveland. So
Okay.
I'm just working right now to get myself back on my feet right now.
Cleveland rocks. No.
Yes, yeah, it does. Yeah.
What about you?
Well, when he went out there, that was a place for me to go to get away and just have fun and all that.
And the reset.
Yeah. But, the more I went down there to visit, the more I'm like, oh, I like this. And plus, a lot of things wasn't going well up here. So at that point, I was like, maybe it's time for me to go reinvent myself.
Okay.
Of course, the situation living wise down there became not good. So I got to that point too where I'm like, yeah, let's go. And do I miss Georgia? Yeah, I really had no plans on coming back to back home because like you heard him. He said his heart is in Cleveland. My heart died my heart died 3 times.
Oh wow. Okay.
My mom, my great grandmother, my auntie.
Okay.
When those 3 women, consistent women in my life, passed away, my heart died a long time ago. I say this, I'm only here because right now I have to be.
Okay. Okay. That's fair.
I don't see my journey in Cleveland. It's done. I guess you could just say this is just a
Pit stop.
a pit stop.
Okay.
But I personally don't see myself living here the rest of my life.
Okay. So so you have your own podcast,
Yes.
and it's titled Phoenix Tea, and that's TEA.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
So my question is, what is Phoenix Tea? Why Phoenix Tea? And what are we to find when we look at Phoenix Tea as a whole?
Well, Phoenix T, it's something we came up with because well, one, we are a big fan of the X-Men and the Marvel universe, so the Phoenix aspect came from the Phoenix Force, which is an entity that the character Jean Grey had. But also, the Phoenix also represents the rebirth. We had initially had another podcast, but obviously, stuff happened, and that deteriorated. So Phoenix T is the representation of the rebirth of what we once had, but something better.
Oh, I like that.
Me and our friends, we call ourselves mutants. So we're Marvel fans. So I have another friend, and I characterize myself as Magneto, and he's Charles Xavier. And me and him together, when we get together, we're Onslaught, which is a combination of those two from the Marvel comic book. So it's like we characterize ourselves, like we say we got mutant powers. Like we've done, like I'll sit there and watch TV and I'll say something, and then somebody on TV will say something verbatim what I just said, or like how I dream, and then things from my dreams manifest during the day. So we say we have mutant powers. So that's where that comes
Okay.
from. In our group, we give ourselves character names from the Marvel comic book. So that me and Xavier are the Phoenix Force, Jean Grey and the Phoenix Force. So that's where we get Phoenix from, like he was describing. And also the rebirth and the reset, the Phoenix rising from the ashes of your past. And the tea comes from we spill tea on this Phoenix tea. And what you're going to find, like we do talk a lot about pro wrestling. So we carried over that last podcast that we had that was called The Clean Finish. We carry that over and talk about pro wrestling, but we talk about current events and we talk about our personal life. So it's tea. That's that's
Okay.
what we do. That's where we get the tea from.
What's the Tagaga?
What's the tea? Let me.
Flip the fan. Wow.
There you go. Yeah.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, I brought my fan. I named the fan Priscilla. I like naming stuff.
Priscilla.
Yeah, Priscilla. That's Priscilla. There she go right
Oh,
there.
she's a shady bitch.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, guy.
Yeah.
Priscilla.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry. I can't flick the fan. I wish I could. Do I even have my fan? I do. But you know what? Again, I cannot flick the fan like that. Last time I tried to flick my fan, it fell out my damn hand. So hold on, let's try.
there you go. You got it. All right. All right. Yeah, there we go. Look. Together.
Yes, together.
Yes.
Ooh, you better say that then. Like I said, I went to the ball. It was nice. A friend of mine was walking a couple of categories. He was actually walking pretty boy realness, and he walked face.
Okay.
I've been told I can walk face or schoolboy.
Well, I'm looking at you, and you most definitely can walk face. Now, I have to figure out what schoolboy is. So
Young. Look, I guess youth.
Oh, okay. I can
When he
see
cleans
that.
up, he gets carded.
Oh, do you? Okay. So yeah, I can see where you can walk those two categories.
I'll finish up about Pride. Now, the Pride Month. We did come up here. We went to Pride, and like you said, this is one of the most eventful Prides we had because they had an event at Wade Oval, and Wade Oval Wednesday. I think one of the first Wade Oval Wednesdays was a Pride thing.
Okay.
So we went to that, and that was cool. They had They did a lot of music, like girls want to have fun and stuff like that. It was nice. It was a nice.
Oh, okay.
They had a nice setup there, and we wore our colors and everything. And that'll bring us to the last Pride event we went to, which was at the center. We were on the bus.
Where's the center at?
The center's on the west side, West 65th.
I think it's off yeah.
In Detroit. It's on Detroit.
Okay.
But on our way, we had got downtown off the Health line, and we're transferring to the bus to get to the west side. And this man got off the bus and saw he had on a rainbow hat and started antagonizing him and badgering him about his hat. And we had got it to him like, dude, go on about your business, leave us alone. So then the dude pulls out a knife on us and threatens us. And that was the first time anything like that had ever happened in my life. But
I have to ask, was he white or black?
Black.
What?
And I got trust me, I got a lot to say. I got a lot to say.
And he wanted to in that dude's life. But we had seen him the week before. He had did something to somebody, and somebody pistol whipped him on public square. So he's like, you didn't learn your lesson. So I called the police, and the police came, and they took care of it.
Oh, okay.
So, but you go ahead and
he called the man, and I called the men.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
So whoever got there first was gonna handle it.
Oh.
He's lucky. That was mercy
Yeah.
that the man showed up, because if the men were
speed dial, huh?
yeah,
'Cause I,
The crew.
yeah,
and you know what? I feel like I need to say this because and the fact that it was from somebody of our ethnicity, it made me sick. Because
it's your own people sometimes.
yes, thank you. It's always our own people that are the ones that are antagonizing us.
Wow.
But if it's of another ethnicity, they're pretty cool, funny, accepting about it. But it's usually sometimes our people that are usually the ones that are against it, and that kind of showed me. I'm like, why are we still in this space? Like, why can't we all just be happy?
Right, because you're an individual, and this is, your preference, and if you don't bother them, they shouldn't bother you.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Wow. WOW. So, other than that, see, I've never been to an official Pride function like they do have down at Public Square. I've never been, but I've seen, pictures or videos, and it looks like it's a huge turnout, and it seems like everybody just comes and have fun, be in a good space. So is that your agreement?
Well, most of the time when we come together, our community, we happy, cheerful,
Until somebody get full and start to fighting.
Well, we can be shady.
Woo!
We can be, but I can deal with that. Just the like you said, the community, the black community attacking you. Being gay and black, or in this community and black, is just it's more stress on you. At times it can be more stressful. Dealing with all the things that come with those when it's bad. It's something to deal with. You got to be tough.
All I gotta say is this: for those that usually tend to come for us, well, maybe y'all need to check yourselves too.
Oh wait, come for us.
Don't come for us
please.
unless you were sent for. Do not come for us.
Yeah.
Right, show us the invitation, because if you didn't get the invitation, then you need to go turn right back around.
That part.
Well,
see, that's that's language from
yeah. Come. Oh, okay. Can we get some lingo? That is so. You know what? I swear, for whatever reason, the lingo is to die for me. Okay, so
it's giving.
Yes, it's giving.
It's very much giving. It's giving fabulous. It's giving wonderful. It's giving rainbow. Giving. It's giving.
Yep.
If somebody out here funky, it's giving skunk. It's giving odor. It's giving unkept.
Yeah, it's
unkept.
Yep. Yeah. That's a chop.
Yeah, it's a chop. Chop. That you see. You take chop. Or tins across the board. You don't get chopped. We ain't have no pork chops, no lamb chops, nothing. Nobody's eating tonight,
Oh my! I don't don't think I heard it like that. Huh? Okay.
You gotta be around us long enough to learn that. You shady. That's the shade. Throw shade.
And I'd tell you this, like me, like I'm a good guy, but I can throw some subliminal shade shots.
Oh yeah,
if you come.
The community can throw some shade. Okay.
Yes, they can.
Yes.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Now, I fell in love with this TV show called Noah's Ark.
Oh yeah, I
love that
remember
show.
that. Yeah.
Oh
Actually,
my goodness! I think
yes.
Noah was my husband. Oh my! I loved it,
Yeah.
and it was to the point where I didn't have logo, and I would go over my cousin's house. Like, okay, you gotta let me. I understand you gotta go to work tomorrow, but you have to let me come and look at this episode on every Wednesday at 9 or 10 o'clock. I was at my cousin's house to watch Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
And watch the shenanigans.
See, I used to sneak and see that. And what was the thing? It was one with the white people on it too. No, that was a movie I used to watch called Trick. That I used to have to sneak and watch that stuff. See, but I found a way. Where there's a will, and you know what else I like to watch?
What?
Pro wrestling.
Pro wrestling?
The men. Well, you look. Had a couple man crushes growing up, but I ain't gonna reveal who it is. I don't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
RuPaul Drag Race for me.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Love. I've looked at it over. You know what? It's for some reason I've always had a fascination with drag queens. Love them.
I love them too. I don't think they should be doing drag queen story time, but that's not for the kids. That's for me.
What
that's
is
for
drag
us.
queen story time?
You never on the news when they talk about the drag queens go and do story time for the kids, and there's a lot of people that are against it because they like that's too adult for the kids. Let the kids be kids. So and sometimes they had the drag queens. They be dressed provocative. Like no, that ain't for no young kids. Y'all don't do that. So I don't agree with it. I love drag shows. I've been to them a lot. They're fun. They're very funny. They're catty. They're shady. They're fun, but that's for adults. That's not for kids.
I agree.
So,
the competition is real.
Yeah. I love it. And have you ever watched Legendary? It's a fairly
Yes,
I love
Great.
Legendary.
I didn't. You know what? I actually did not see the end of season 3, but I watched it, and those who sat on the panel, I really thought that Megan Thee Stallion did not belong for some reason.
People said that. Some people said that.
I didn't think she
like her.
belonged
I
there.
like her there. I like her.
You
there.
like her there? She was okay for some, but Law don't play.
Nope.
Do not look.
Do not
down the
play.
Look.
He laid down the law.
Yeah, he does. Yep.
But see, this is my thing. Back to the lingo before we forget. So one of the things that I really, really think a lot of people in the life or the lifestyle are hilarious. And I really don't know if y'all get a dictionary of terms when you come out or what, because it's like, where do you get some of the shit that you be saying? Like, how does that flow from your mind so fast, so frequent? Like the other day when we were out and what was it about the lady and she was half dressed or something, and whatever you said, it was I just almost crashed the car because it's like, what the hell?
I forgot what I said because Patrice was there too. I remember I said I can't remember.
Oh my
But,
God!
Yeah, I'm very quick with it, so I've been saying some stuff. Yeah, you ain't the first person I had almost crashed a car, so don't feel bad. But
I was like, wow, like because I had a best friend named Blue who passed away. Well, I want to say 2010, and like I tell anybody, that was like my confidant. The first person I will go to when I meet a guy, I will bring him to Blue, or he comes around Blue, or I will show a picture to Blue because Blue will be able to clock it for me.
Yeah.
Another word, clock. So he would be able to clock and let me know not to deal with the shady boy or whatever he used to say.
Oh, yeah.
Don't talk to him because.
Give him a reading.
Yeah, give him a reading.
Okay,
Yeah.
give him a reading. So yeah, and a couple people were red quite often. I was a little disappointed, but then I was still glad to know, you know, what I was getting into, because people should. I believe honesty is the best policy, and I'm not saying it as something just to say, even though I do lie a lot about a couple other things. But, you know, as far as sexuality and your preference, I think things like that most definitely should have a conversation, because there's so much that's going around with HIV and AIDS and, you know, people sleeping with this person and people sleeping with that person, either knowingly or unknowingly transferring bodily fluids, which then causes some issues later on in life. I didn't ask for that package. I mean, even if it's just a typical STD, it's like, come on now, I didn't ask for that. And that's for heterosexual couples as well.
Oh yeah.
But you know, to know if, for instance, you being bisexual, I would like to know that you're bisexual, because if I rock with you and I want to fuck with you, I won't fuck with you anyway, that you're bisexual. Now, the thing is, I might say, okay, we can do what we do, but, you know, wear a condom, but me and you still gonna do what we do. So give me that option to make an informed decision. Is all I be asking anybody.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we still have people out here that don't do that.
Oh yeah.
So what is your thoughts, being a bisexual male, about people not being forthcoming?
I agree with you. There is still some folks that aren't forthcoming about whatever situation they may have or their full sexuality. They may tell you one thing, but then, you know, mess around with another person on the side. So like me as a person, like anybody I've talked to or dated, I've always let them know I am a bisexual, and you know, so that they can have that heads up, and then they can go from there on what they want to do.
Go ahead.
Well, this is why it's so important that we make people be able to be comfortable who they are. It's the atmosphere of fear is what keeps people from revealing their true self, and that's what's going to continue to exacerbate the situation, and people spread disease. If they're not comfortable with telling people, if our community makes it bad, it makes you feel bad for being yourself, then you're not going to come out, and then it's going to harm us more in the long run. So it is very important. You know, the pushback we get on our community is harming in the long run. We need to be comfortable. If that's who you are, be yourself.
Exactly.
That's what's going to help us move forward and build. And we want the community to build together. We want to build together. We want to eat together. We want to love together.
Yes.
So let's build an atmosphere where we can move past our past traumas and our past hurt, so we can get better.
Yeah, that's a big fact and truth in what you're saying. I'll even say this: like, I've dealt with people that are sick.
Okay.
And honestly, that didn't, like, now that I'm older, like maybe back then when I was like 19, it you know, it scared me, because like I always, before we got all like the treatments and stuff that we have now, I was scared. I'm like, oh, well, I don't know about that. But as I got older, you know, I just learned how to like understand them, try to understand them. And you know, I've had 2 relationships with people that was sick, but you know, it worked out. I'd say that it worked out because I treated them like who they are, a human being, and I didn't let their illness be a problem within our relationship. I treated them with love, compassion, all that.
Yeah, because there are people who were ignorant, probably still ignorant to the fact of how you can transmit certain STDs or diseases. You know, when you heard that somebody had HIV or AIDS, it's like, oh my God, I'm not even going to drink after them. And it's like, that is not how you transmit it. So it's like people are not educated to how you transmit certain things. And I think some people don't want to know how to, just so that they can just, I ain't going to say stay ignorant, but just so that they don't have to, what is the word I want to say? They don't have to be responsible for their actions, you know. But real quick, so although you're bisexual, I have a friend who's bisexual. However, I never see him with a woman, like ever. It's like, wait a minute, you told me you were bisexual, but are you really bisexual, or is that just something that you say so that it's okay?
He might prefer one preference over the other. Like he might like guys a lot more than he like women, but he still like women. Like that is a thing. But
Okay.
but if he haven't brought a female at least once over, or he has never dated a female or did anything of the sorts with a female, then that's question. That's question.
That's sus.
Borderline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, seriously, he have friends, like I'm a friend of his, and I've met, other friends of his, some who are in the life and some who are not. But me personally, I have never seen him date a woman ever. But he says he's bisexual.
And that's questioning. He doesn't have receipts to back that up. So that is definitely a question mark.
Well,
I can at least say that I've dated women in my life even before, dating men. So
Okay.
I'm a fruit, 100% fruit juice, no preservatives.
What in the world? What is that?
They used to call us a fruity.
Oh, shit.
So
Okay.
I'm 100% fruit juice, no preservatives.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Say no ifs, ands, or
Yeah.
buts about it.
Or maybe a couple butts.
Oh,
You walked right. See?
I did. I opened the door for that. But I wasn't ready. Woo, I wasn't ready.
She was not ready.
Flip. Go ahead. Go ahead.
She wasn't ready.
yep.
Lord have mercy.
I've had my share. Now I'm at a point in my life where I'm ready to settle down.
Oh, wow. That's what's up. Okay. Keep me posted on that. Keep me posted. But yeah, this was very enlightening. And you know what? It's a topic that I wanted to kind of get into, and I do want to have other conversations. I'm in the market to talk to a trans person.
Okay.
Okay.
I ain't gonna say I don't know any. I know of some. I've been around some, but I don't know them enough to say, hey, come hang out with Hayzel. And then they be open to hanging out, because a lot of transgenders that we know are not completely out, and that's another thing.
Yeah.
You have, I don't know, I'm not even going to even open that can of worms up, but yeah.
Let them open it.
Yeah, let them open that. So we got giving, from off of Noah's Ark, the Tagaga. That, oh my God, I live for that word. What is the Tagaga, bitch? Yeah, I live for that. And yeah, the wittiness, I love it. I love it. So thanks, man. This is what's up.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
We got to do this again.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Well, we have come to the end of this week's episode. I want to first thank you for listening to the insanity that crosses our minds. To those who partake and entertain in my conversations, without you, there will be no hanging out with Hayzel. To Platinum Way Ray and Mac of the Tracks, we're looking out for my dope beat. And last but not least, shout out to my other half for making this possible. Because at the end of the day, she is I and I am her. If you thought this show was interesting, be sure to tune in to next week's episode and tell a friend. Support the movement. All things Hayzelgreene. Find my books on Amazon.com. Follow, listen, and like at Hayzelgreene.com. Hayzelgreene on Facebook and Hayzelgreene216 on IG. 2 fingers.
And I'm out. Hey.